Welcome back to this week's episode of The Reset.
The Reset.
I'm Anthony Bailey.
I'm Rici Bell.
And we're having a good time there. Always wanting to find out, are you okay?
Are you okay?
How's
That's the
that
question.
Week coming along for you?
That's the question here at The Reset.
Yeah.
Whether you're resetting your life financially, emotionally, relationally,
Yes.
whatever, are you okay is the question we are asking.
Yeah, some folks coming out of summertime ready for the fall now.
Yeah.
So everybody's resetting, at least on the
Right.
season time.
Are you okay, parents? Just drop. So I have a
Yes.
a 19-year-old going to be a sophomore at San Jose State, and then a
Yeah.
senior at San Joaquin Memorial. Am I okay?
I think people at home are going to be watching, looking at the camera. I'm going to get your close-up shot.
Oh,
here.
gosh, don't
Say
do
that
it.
again. You say you have a high school
I have a
senior.
19-year-old and a 17-year-old. Yes, I do. 45.
Yep, thank
and
God for
alive.
good genes, right? That's how it goes, you know. Oh my God! All right, we better jump back into it. So we're having
Yes.
a good time here.
Yes, we got a great show today.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to
Yeah.
it. We got a powerhouse guest with us today.
Yep,
and
yep.
I think this is going to be
Yeah.
a fun morning for us.
He's no stranger to the Valley. He's no stranger. I'll just say he's no stranger to the nation. He's pretty incredible, y'all. He is a husband. He is a father. He is a son. He is a brother. He is a former NFL player, and he's doing some really innovative things in the educational world. So we want to welcome to the Reset today the one, the only drumroll, Robert Golden.
Yes.
Glad to be here. Glad to be
We are
here.
excited to see you here in the seat. We get a chance to see anybody who follows social media or
Right.
even sports media. You have been popping up all over the place. I
Yes.
feel like I saw you on Forbes last week.
Yeah.
Like what?
He's really making his mark.
Yes, he
on
is.
sure,
And he's
for
here
sure.
in the studio with
For
us.
sure. Absolutely.
We're excited to see
Absolutely.
that. We're excited. Fill us in a little bit for folks at home that are curious about you. Kind of fill us in a
Right.
little bit about your story.
Man, well, born and raised right here in Fresno,
Yes.
California, right in the Valley. Was able to grow up here, graduated from Edison High School.
Shout out
at
Tigers.
ET Tigers, one Tiger, many stripes.
That's right. One Tiger, many stripes. Let him know.
But after graduating from Edison, went to the University of Arizona on a full ride football scholarship, and got the opportunity to go and play for the best NFL football team in the world, the Pittsburgh
Don't email
Steelers.
us. Don't email us.
Black and gold.
Hey, no hate, man. No hate. Shout out to Coach Tomlin. Yo to the Noops. There.
Yes,
We love
sir.
it. We love
Yes,
it.
sir. But
Love
there,
that.
really got an opportunity to become the youngest team captain in the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise history, and really just tried to transition them leadership skills and bring them back home to the Valley. So it's been awesome being back, that's for sure.
Love it.
That's good. Obviously, I mean, we don't want to bury the lead. I do come from the news world.
Yep.
So, I mean, talk to us a little bit about the academy. You guys have construction.
Yep.
You got hard hats
Yep.
and sledgehammers going on right now here
Yep.
in the Valley. What are you all doing?
What's going on?
Well, we started this school back in 2021 with $1 and a dream.
Wow.
And, once we started the school, we realized that families were looking for something different, something more innovative. Obviously, the world has evolved, technology has evolved, but when we think about the education system, it has pretty much stayed the same. So we really wanted to give children the opportunity to have hands-on learning experiences, but also get that exposure to what else they could do besides be an athlete. So was able to partner with the Fresno Chaffee Zoo and give kids hands-on learning experiences there, but also teach kids about environmental stewardship and let them go out in their communities and make a difference. So been running the school for 5 years now. This is year 5, and we started construction this year as well too, and going to be moving into a $27 million state-of-the-art facility come August of 2026.
I mean, folks put a lot of lofty dreams and goals out there.
Right.
But you not only have done it on the football field, on
Yep.
the gridiron, as we like to say.
Right.
But now, right in the heart of Fresno.
Right,
in the
right.
Central Valley.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think, for me, it's always been about not only having faith, but putting actions to my faith. And,
What does it say? Faith without works is dead. Okay.
Is dead,
It's written.
So not only have I always dreamed and believed that I deserve to play in the NFL, but I worked to get there. And not only did I have this vision to develop this school, but it's been a lot of work that's had to go into it, and
Yeah.
still a lot of work left to be done. But
Right.
excited to be able to put the work together for sure.
So good. So
Yep.
pause right there for a second. You
Yep.
said something that was so critical. You said not only did I dream about this,
Yep.
I knew I deserved it, but I
Yep.
also put in the work.
Yep.
Talk to the dreamers out there where it stays in the dream world.
Absolutely.
Like what's that next step going from dreaming to manifestation of what it is that you're dreaming about?
Yeah, well, you know, I think for me, you know, one of the things that I try to root myself in is the word, and what the Bible tells us is that you got to write the vision and make it plain, so that when others see it, they may be able to run with it. And I'm been a big believer of not only just believing, but taking my thoughts and putting it down on paper, because once you take your thoughts from your mind and put it down on paper, that's the reality of it. It's just an imagination when it's in your mind, but when you can actually read it, that brings a lot of things into perspective. It's a plan, it's reality. And then you develop the stepping orders that you need to put in place to achieve it. That's for sure.
So good.
Yep.
So it's as long as it's in your mind, it's still just an imagination.
Yep.
But when you put it to paper, it's an actual plan.
It's a plan.
What about those who, I mean, because you obviously have a strong support system. We'll
Yep.
talk about your wife in a
Yep,
little bit.
absolutely.
But your mom, your
Yep.
you know, your family.
Yep.
But what about those who feel like they're out there on their own? They
Yep.
have the imagination, they have the dream, they've written it on paper, they
Yep.
have the plan, but there's no support system.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the things that the word also says is that, you know, don't despise small beginnings, because it doesn't get blessed until you get started. You know, so for me, when you think about being out there on your own or trying to make it happen on your own, hey, once you start putting those action steps into place, the right people is going to see the vision. The right people is going to come on board
Right
with you.
people.
But if you don't never start, or if you don't never get it going, then ultimately you won't meet those people that needs to be on the train or the bus with you as well either. So it's important to just get started,
Just start.
get going,
We're
and
here.
let
We
it
heard
go.
that before.
We've
We
heard
had that
that
talk.
before. We've talked about that quite a bit. Just start.
Just get started. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm sure that there are a lot of folks that may look at your situation and go, "Man, he has incredible resources, and you have an access to a network that is really nationwide."
Yep.
But I want to reel it back into the Fresno area.
Yep.
Last week we talked a little bit about that fear to take that first step.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was that like for you before you thought, okay, I'm leaving the NFL, I'm going to
Yep.
retire.
Yep.
Right.
I'm hanging up the weekly paycheck that I get during the season.
Right. That's
Yeah.
That
predictable.
I can take care of the
and-
wife with back
Yeah.
home,
Right.
take care of the young ones, make sure they're straight.
For
And
sure.
I'm going to go and I'm going to take a step of faith and start a
Do
school.
something
Yeah.
brand new.
What was
Yeah.
going through your mind before you said, okay, step one, we're
Step
going?
one.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, football was always my plans. It was always my passion. And it got to a point in my career where football started to feel like a job for me. And I'm like, man, I'm waking up. I don't want to do this. And I'm like, life is too
Yeah.
short to wake up every single day and don't be happy.
Training camp is too hard to wake up.
Exactly. I'm dragging myself to training camp in Kansas City. And, you know, it was just at that point where I made a decision to get out the boat. I'm like, right now, I'm just in this boat. I'm comfortable. I'm doing what, you know, I know how to do. I'm doing what I love doing, but I don't have that passion for it anymore. And that's ultimately how players get hurt, when they just out there trying to get a check or just going through the motions. And that was something that I always told myself I'm not going to do. No matter what I'm doing, I'm not just going through the motions. If I'm not elevating or trying to elevate other
Others.
people,
Come on. That's good.
then I'm going to figure out what my true purpose is in life. And when I stepped away, when I'm like, I'm done with football, I didn't know I was coming back to Fresno to open up a school. I just knew I was done with football.
Wow, so you didn't even have the next step.
I didn't have the next step in place. No, I
this
did
wasn't
not.
even football going to school. This is football going to question mark.
This is football going to question mark. A lot of soul searching, a lot of meditation. Really just trying to figure out what was next for me. But I couldn't figure out what was next for me while I was still playing in the NFL. I really had to trust God at some point and just say,
pause.
what you got for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's next?
So did that, and I tell you what, it was about a year-long process of me just trying to figure out what the next thing was for me. And when God began to reveal it to me, I went to work.
So that's the question I was going to ask you. I'm a PK. I'm a couple generations deep in the church, so it's
Gotcha.
Sunday
For
morning.
those of you who don't know what PK is,
Preacher's
pastor's kid or preacher's kid.
Yep.
So I'm wondering,
Usually
like,
never mind, I almost
what
said
was the?
something.
No, not usually the worst ones around. You know?
Scratch
I'm a
that.
kind of outlier when it comes to that aspect. Yeah. Not always totally not true. Just in this case, anyway.
He said, Anthony said, don't email me.
Talk to us about that word, though. What was that first thing that you hear? A lot of times, folks in the religious community will say, hey, you know, something spoke to me, or God spoke to me, or God said something to me, put something in my spirit.
Intuition.
Yeah. What was happening during that year when that message got dropped into your spirit that goes, let's look at this education?
Well, it's funny because back in 2015, 16, I had a mentor in my life by the name of CJ Jones. He calls me up on a Saturday night. I got a game Sunday morning. He calls me up and he's like, man, when you're done playing in the NFL, you're going to open up a school. And it kind of went in one ear and out the other, but he planted that seed because I was always involved with children during the off season, whether it was during my mentoring programs, my reading programs, the anti-bullying programs. I did a lot for kids in the Fresno area during the off season. So he calls me up like, you're going to open up a school, went in one ear and out the other. I'm like, I got a game in the morning, man. I'm not trying to worry about what I'm doing after. But then, you know, I walked away from the game and I started doing some TV analysis work with the Pac-12 network, and was working for a sports agency trying to recruit players to get them to the NFL. But none of that was really fulfilling me. And I remember I was just meditating, trying to figure what was next. And CJ calls me again and he's like, man, you need to start working on that school that I told you about years ago. And
he's
that's
still
when I
around.
started
He's
dreaming.
still here, right?
He's still here. He's still around. We still talk almost daily. So he planted the seed, and I watered it. And when you water bamboo, it grows.
Come on. And I think you just said something so important. Two things that I'm resonating with right now. Number one, when you closed one door, you said no to the NFL. You didn't necessarily know what was next. You just had this faith, this trust, just this inner knowing that whatever was next was going to be incredible, right? So those of y'all who are listening and watching, you don't necessarily have to know what's next.
Absolutely.
Just do the thing now. Tomorrow will worry about itself.
Absolutely.
The second thing you said that was so powerful was there was somebody in your life who knew you well enough and you trusted well enough to speak into your life. You gave them permission at some point to speak into your life, and you trusted their word for you.
For sure.
He called you once. He called you again. And you knew he wasn't just blowing smoke.
For
Shout
sure.
out to CJ Jones. Thank
For
you for
sure.
your perseverance.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
You knew he wasn't just talking just to be talking, because there are some people in your life who just be talking.
Oh, no question.
But he was talking. He saw something in you.
No question.
And he saw a need. Robert, you can fulfill this need. Come on, start thinking about this school. So those who are used to living life on their own and don't really want anybody to speak into their lives, what do you say to that person?
Well, you know, I think ultimately we all could have some people that speak, you know, life into us, but you got to get that revelation and that confirmation for yourself as well too, because you know, he could have told me to come start a school, and I could have been like, no, I'm into this Pac-12 sports analysis work that I'm doing. But ultimately, when I was in my meditation, when I was in my devotions, God began to show me the vision for the school. So a lot of people can have visions and thoughts for your life, but you got to get that revelation and confirmation for yourself. So ultimately, you got to live life, and life will teach you some things that books can't teach you. So that's just been the story of my life.
That's
for
a
sure.
whole nother episode.
Yeah, it is. But it's a good one. And,
Yeah.
you know, you kind of bring a unique perspective to
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
as you were talking about the vision and somebody speaking it into you.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're married, beautiful
Yep.
family.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're heading home to the wife. What was that conversation like?
Yeah.
We talk on this show a lot about
Yep.
relationship health and
Yep.
the spouse being supportive
Right.
of
For
you
sure.
and your vision and dreams,
Right.
which
For
they
sure.
don't actually see because they're in your head.
Yep.
Right.
What was that conversation like for
Yeah.
you with your wife?
Yeah,
Shout out
man.
Lachey.
Shout out Miss Golden. Shout out Miss Golden. Man, you know, when I was contemplating leaving the NFL, this wasn't no overnight thing. I mean,
Right.
this was months of me having conversations with my wife, like, I think I'm done. But, you know, one of the things that she always encouraged me was, whatever your heart is telling you to do, that's what you need to do.
Wow.
So, you know,
Yeah.
when I was at the point where I'm like, I'm done.
Stick
She's
a
like,
fork in me.
come home. She's like, well, come
there we
home
go.
then. So once I knew she was on board with me making the decision to leave, because at that point I had my first son, and he was at that age when he knew daddy was leaving, and he was crying like, don't leave. So now I'm feeling bad and
Yeah.
Right,
guilty.
dad guilt.
So
It's a real thing. Mom guilt is a real
for
thing.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So, but when she was on my side and said that, you know, whatever my heart's telling me to do, let's do it. That's when I knew it was time for me to really take that step. But
How critical was her support for the school? Because leaving the NFL
Yeah.
is one thing, and
Yeah.
Right.
doing the on-camera analysis is another
Yeah.
thing, because that's a steady paycheck coming
for
in
sure,
as well.
for sure.
Not to get in your financial business,
Yeah.
but, you know, there's a range of folks that
For
do
sure.
things with their money while they're playing.
Absolutely.
So what was the conversation to go, okay, sweetie, this is what I think we're going to go next. I want to do
Yeah.
this school.
Yeah.
For sure.
We'll be good. We'll be good.
For sure. You
Yeah.
know, one thing about my wife and I is we conservative. You know, we've never been the flashy type. So, you know, playing 7 years in the NFL, one of the things that I always prided myself on was being more than an athlete. So we were able to do things financially to make sure that we had time to figure out what that next, you know, move was going to be.
Yeah.
But I tell you this, you know, without my wife, man, there wouldn't be no school. Because although I stepped away from the NFL on my own terms, there was still that who am I state, depression state
Yeah.
that I went through.
Absolutely.
And that was a whole year of really just trying to figure out my identity, because I was
Yes.
always labeled and known as this football player, Rob. And I tell you, it was a lot of long nights and all-nighters, if you will, on just going through that depression that most athletes or most career changes take people through. But it was my wife that was praying with me at nighttime, speaking life to me. But that was a year-long journey for me before I even said, okay, let's
Right
do
there by
this
your
school.
side
Yep.
there.
So it was important to have her on my side, and that's why we get to sit here today and talk about Golden Charter Academy.
Yeah. So something you said right there,
Yeah.
where I'm going to deviate from the script just a little bit because it's so impactful. We may try to get you back in for another episode on
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it really briefly, the fact that you had the wherewithal to do things right financially
Right.
while you were playing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because both of us come out of Southwest Fresno.
For sure.
We've seen our fair share
Yeah.
For
in
sure.
a variety of backgrounds.
Absolutely.
And we see all three of us, that's right, coming out of
Southwest
Southwest Fresno.
Absolutely.
So we've all seen folks come out, make it to that level
Right.
financially.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we've seen some of those folks on the roller coaster come back down.
Oh, yeah.
The ebb and flow, and they've
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
come down in the flow and stayed there.
For sure.
How did you know?
Yeah.
What was the key? Who guided you on that? Because
Yeah, what
For
to
sure.
do
a
with your
little bit of an
money.
anomaly. I mean,
Yep.
just from the people that we've been exposed to, not everybody is able to tackle that like that.
Right.
Yeah. You know, well, I think you know, my foundation kept me solid when it came to the financial aspect of things. You know, usually when people make it and you come from nothing, you want to get everything and you want to get everybody everything.
Yeah.
But one thing that I learned how to do was say no. At an early age.
We had that last week. Power to say no.
Yeah.
You got to be able to say no and
Yes.
set those boundaries. And that was one of the things that I was able to do. But luckily for me, too, you know, I had a mom and dad in my life that was very supportive, and they assured me that I owed nobody nothing.
That's right.
On a
That's
daily
right.
basis. So I kind of carry that mindset with me till this day. But ultimately, I was able to, put money away and do some investments. And ultimately, when I was able to reach my second contract, I was able to purchase my parents their first home that they ever owned. Yep. And then my third contract, I bought my home. So took care of my mom and dad first, and was thankful for everything that they gave to me.
That's
and that was the least I could do back for them. So,
I love that.
but learn to say no and set boundaries. That's a big part of having financial stability. That's for sure.
Who gave you that? Not to beat the horse, but who gave you that? Because I feel like so many times in our communities, we're not really talked to about the finances.
For sure.
We're not really talked to about the investments. We're not really talked to about the home ownership and the benefits of that financially.
Right.
Did that just come from mom and dad who had that knowledge and imparted upon you? Or?
No, I'll say when I got to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I had a player development rep who I'm still really good friends with to this day, Ray Jackson, who's actually the vice president of the Denver Broncos now. But Ray Jackson used to always tell us, stack that cheese, stack that cheese. So every day I'm like, I got to stack that cheese. I got to put this money away. And, him consistently speaking that over my life was something that just ultimately guided me. And then I had a big brother as well, too, Ricky Manny Jr. Shout out Rick Manny. When I came out, out of college, he connected me with his financial advisor. So I went into the NFL or really left college with a financial advisor, knowing that I was stepping into the NFL as well too. So
see now we're getting into the meat and potatoes. The power of a network.
Yes,
absolutely.
Connections matter.
Absolutely.
System. Yes,
for sure.
Support system matters.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's so good. I was listening to an actor and producer the other day, and he said that his family, when he made it big, his family. Wait, you're a cousin too? You're a cousin too? Like, I didn't know my family was this big, but okay. They all came around, and he told them, I will only support you for 1 year. And then you got to get your own job. And he stood on that, and they're all successful in their own areas now. But he had to have those compassionate boundaries to say, yes, we're family. Yes, I came into a whole lot of money. I will help you for 1 year. After that, 365 days, 366, whatever, you're on your own.
Absolutely. I think for me, too, I was really big on who was with me when I was shooting in the gym, or who was with me when I was grinding on the field. And when I look back over my life, it was really just my in-house family, whether it was my mom and dad or my brothers. So when it came to them needing anything, they knew they could call me at a drop of a dime. And bro was going to be there for them. Our son was going to be there for them.
So
but I got a lot of aunties and uncles and cousins once my name got called with them Pittsburgh Steelers. But again, if you wasn't with me in the gym, that's how it was.
That's good. I didn't want to drill down on that too hard, but I was always curious because it's something that we see over time.
Absolutely.
And now because of those good decisions, you're on the cusp of, you're already in a school, but you're on the cusp of construction of a brand new multi-million-dollar facility.
Absolutely.
That maybe is not possible if it's not for the Ray Jacksons
and the Ricky Mannings.
And the Ricky Mannings of the world who kind of gave you that foundation, those steps to kind of take your steps forward.
Oh, absolutely. The good book says that iron sharpens iron, and it's always been my goal to surround myself around people that makes me sharper and not dull. But again, I take it back and tell you guys it was really just putting actions towards my faith because, starting this school and developing a charter petition and the hours that went into, a school, I was invested into a school about $100,000 before I even got the charter approved. I'm hiring people, having people work on a charter petition, develop it out, consultants. And I remember, I was meditating one day and I'm pulling out cash, paying people, and I'm not making anything. And I remember God spoke to me vividly. He's like, if you sow now, you'll reap later. And it's 2019, 2020.
Wow.
So
and we all know what happened in 2020.
yeah. Oh, it was COVID, pandemic, and I'm trying to open a school. It was all faith, but I mean, to even take it another step further, you know, the facility where we're developing our permanent site at, I put that property in escrow with my own finances in September of 2020. September of 2020, middle of COVID.
Oh my
The school didn't get
goodness.
approved until February 2021. So when I talk about faith in actions,
oh my goodness,
I really mean it.
Like I am not going to fail. There is no plan B.
There's no plan
only
B.
Plan A.
Absolutely.
You have to believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
Believe in what was in your mind that
Absolutely.
you put to paper.
For sure. And have no doubt and don't waver
don't
go
waver.
for it.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
No doubt, don't waver, go for it. That's a t-shirt?
That's a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt?
That's
Okay.
a t-shirt.
I love this. I love what we've got going on. Of course,
I have so many more questions.
Yeah, we're not done. So if you all stick around, we're gonna have to stick
around.
around with us for another week. Of course, this has been a great time here for this week's reset.
Yeah.
We're gonna get ready to say goodbye to you all, but you definitely want to stick around because next week we're gonna dive deeper into the school,
Absolutely,
into the man behind the school, and really this whole movement.
Right.
And the other question you may have, of course, is about the tie-in from the zoo because it's something I had never heard of before. So we're definitely gonna dive in and give you some info about that as well coming up.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Robert Golden, for joining us this week here on the Reset. And at the end of the day, we just want to know, are you